Pamom. Only already ebro 100 and they were heavily armed. Sanko for what they let take up a mom. Sanko for the letter of a mom. Sanko for the Saudi drone as a short one. And they so much software, sir. Or what to be every drone and so. Said the bear do green baby motion. This is a national security issue. Sanko for no. Young farmers road and a mom cotton free. Says almost a get what I say. The photocast says one push become shows. Also so more liberate. The airs of Galamsey. Nothing yes who say as you pray will be enjoying. That's how they also back our class here too. They're making me. Oh yes, for the arm of man. Oh fire that rations. Now send me panels of support. You put it to anyway. Of course, who feel now self-defense will be bound to attack you ever do represent. Now for two can our body here. I tell him run self-defense in account.
Ghana, now Uko Australia. Ubetina Eloplimo 18 hours. And Nukrano, Nipabi Etumidi Mechiako. World Cup Eba, Ayeba Bebo Afifufra, Yeba Bemui, Yebebono, Ewa America, and Nunu 7 hours spend over to America. Nananum, Semu Pesembu, Manumo, Eko America, Nomunko Bobra, Nasikeli and Refia, to Abanamami, Uye Bebono, Ewa Paso, Uye Bebono, Ewa Desase, Uye Bebono, Ewa Newtown, now Peso Utukwa. Me pious, me be your webia, me do better quite, me do better quite, me do better. Na me no, me say ampim. Na Yamawa Kenya, na what you sako say with them from. Na eduma na yedi ase usa se bua nepa no. Unto me wano. She now before froso embe ya usimi nche konongo kaya. Me say enti meno uye bebuno na opese utukwan uko Germany uko America uko UK uko France bebi a opese ubeko bia no ubuami a misu minya akwanya misu mebuao.
Listen, and I'm very happy when the minority leader challenged us that we will debate this matter and the culprit will be mentioned. In fact, we are ready to debate now. If we are to look and investigate both sides of the house, you have had the opportunity to rule this country before. I can tell you, you polluted the water more than us. You polluted the water more than us. So let's get matters straight.
Say your stability, but for say the how clear water is. So offer so you treat ya. Say down fiana not biana so no but you share videos ne pictures near the fafi Praia River me call Takwa Day Saturday. I did a short video on the Praia River Ekobo Epunu and share in Sunia clear to say so no ho tire nankasa nyoma koso so no and Ghana water was such a man or feed stability 14,000 chief naturally no say river no rivers need to our sacra feed need to maybe to be recorded be 5 and now to be recorded be 10 and you sure bibian kano and na 14,000 I say Ghana water eye hu adwuma reduce global standards on drinking water the maximum allowable stability limit it shouldn't exceed 5 NTU no kwano every treatment plant ensures that it is way less than 5 NTU. It means that treatment plants born home so be making sure say feed stability stability
wo mayimu say enforcement no wonhwe na mmara ye wo no mo chese fans asimu sade etuo galamsey ho no emra no yanyiri mu na nya dwuma emra no yanyiri mu na nya dwuma ne edika no ne etosum yenu responsible mining se community mining no empanimfo hwe se eye adwuma da bi minister ne ewo mu onie community mining na nkasa na wo se mudi kan ma ye huo se community mining introduction of community mining na ye no etumie reduce se galamsey no omanfo ye because mama ayete ase se emmabunu no a etu nsase mu sade na mra kwan so no wo mu na ye ma wontete ye training no ma ye responsible mining no eti asase no ye allocate the maboni a enwo akade e bose ye de mabon sa gold catch abrofo na mo de breye no na esa ye de ni nyina momo enti mining no mo be ye no emmeye galamsey bio eno no beboa ama mabu no de omo hwa galamsey nu no afedie mining no mo ye na be ye ne nam emra kwa so na chese wo ye eti nei se yesa beti brofo se ye be she regional ministers ye owo mayimu na omo atumi a enforce emra ye fa msase musade atuo ne dikan na ne yetosum yenu so sa community mining no ya chemu kena na atumi aboa ne yedikan ye ne kosi sen community mining no a responsible mining anasa adani galamsey mumie hu se community mining na atumi aboa ne yesi ye chemu kena eti we no enka ne ye bu nkonta ni aka kire ye se because of community mining ninti no se ya magalamsey ni tuo no abafam enti ye hwe ne ayirimu ni aye mo na nka atumi aboa kora ehi ne adiduru ye because ene reporter yenya yensantwani restus as I don't call this wodi akire enyu ono nko wo mu mani din sase mu sade atuo achi wo mayimu kire se community mining no ene galamsey nsunsun ye bi anim community mining ene galamsey no ensunsun ye bi anim eti siase ye be hye community mining no mu kena ne ye na kosisen moma ye hu resource no ne entoa so because solution a obiye ni da so se ye pese ye de betu sa galamsey na se wo mayimu no still na solution na maye se ye di weyi susu ano amom ye nte se o ye mfa weyi susu ano ne ye hu kwan ye befa so because regional ministers no any rates to me no ekita wadada regions no se wo fa wo mu e assembly mu ansa no abefa police commander you wo region bia any district bia se to me no wo hodada o enye nne ne ye de be ma won o enti se wo man ntumi anya adwuma no a de na eche se nne yi ebe ka se o mo nkwaye no de soronko de na asesa se ye wo bibi fufuro bi hye botomu a minister mbeba be ka kire ye ne a mo meka nche ye ne ehu ne ekoso mo meka nche ye ne ehu ne ekoso wo free community a ye yesa man ni bi wo honom no ne me kan no wo nyem akinye se wo region a wo free wo village a wo free community a wo free se ye yesa de bi wo honom na ne ukohwe nipa ete honom ensacha ye bi ama o mabrabo mu o popra se ne wote ne da wo mo ho kire wo so ne yetu fagudie wo honom enti minister yade ensufin ayenom enuane boni ayedi koyeyem a doctor for dia no mo be ka kire ye se ye ka kidney no a enyu obi a no worry apetesi o enyu obi a no wanu maduro ye nsese bonom enti no wanya kidney obi ho no obesese na brabo a kirew aka cho se medie metuwe ye bi kura nsanka amanoda ma brabo a mebono pen ni buku da ho ne be wura manum bia medwen ho. It is such a person na so no ye kidney no wanya bia de ho mesin na wo yo ba to tomatoes to nyadoa to carrot to so de na fa koto fie nani 2 days na hwe kanene mesi tomatoes to na de good cement so a ehia kura so de be hye fridge mu ebegu ho akonsi obedi awie ene hye fridge mu hye hiu ebesei enti wo a wote ho abadwodwo bodwisemu a wodi onim so me de baabi a meti de enka me ebekam obia se ya nhwe ne antu ase a ebekam obia wo se nsuo ni wie na so udwane akwa brochira wabusuafo ha eti abusua nwumre yi campaign no aye no message efire kira aba ne minister abeka kire no maka kire wanwumre no yeguso wo bani ni suzumadi so na nwumre yi ye ne mrahye badwani ma omanfo yo one of ton abato mpeso aso ena esi adwa Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa honorable ewo fie ha eti abusua ene free constituency emrahye badwam committee ya boda no ene ne constituency wono mekai se the last time amene ne twetwe nkomo wo ha sei no na this year ye bone constituency wono mo a esan ya koso mosutade no ampanimfo bieye na huru amanfo agapade koye ensunsanso ye firi mu baaye no na ono ankasa se matumi ne akohuduo bi a ennan aban ewo wodwumade mu akeka bom ya kyesa adan no yatumi aye kakra de amanipa no enye nonko se yetes abusuan se wani di wo mayi ensem wo ekoso akira mampani na nadodan kwa kufu ado wabra asemisi ye no omanya konhuma sika 2024 budget no ya allocate sika se yemfa mo nipa no a wo ho akyerebo no sika no wo hwa 6 March ya yedi na fimu na mampani di tu dwa so ya release 80 million ye edi kan di akwa akoboa eti sika no ya release ni nyina de ne yatumi di aye nipa na wo ho no ene wasetena mu tesen ene yetwa baabia bi ewo bani ni suzumadi emu eti abusuen sabo fidie da hanwumre ya wo so wadwenkyere ye de beka dwumadi no ho ne yehia so de befa Adom 106.3 FM so Facebook wo de adwenkyere ni bi fa ho a ebrese mekenkan e de amasem bi sabi a wo no fa bi fa ho ko YouTube so a Adom 106.3 FM no a ye dem live e wo ho no mo na wadwenkyere fa bi to na mu aseda de Papa Franco ne de emmanuel if said there be a mekase ade paneton ho ade no say ya wa wo kosohwe na wo kamfo ma manfo eti say ya air conditioners a wo bi say ya TV a ene ye friend say Franco TV obi tomade no se famidi tu so a da bia mekase na kokuduro so eti TV anka behwe na brofo din na da so no Franco Trading Enterprise wako am ye din ti ye wo Franco TV ene wontie ya Ghana ha ye wo Franco TV and your Franco air conditioners and a CCTV cameras no say no krasa and Ghana and no krasa what be a juma what for be wom chrono your bebo war with the CCTV cameras no me installation and mount na da phone so eti baby a wuko bia utimi monitor wa de ufie ne ekoso honum bia no na mom CCTV cameras no ne ye papa ene Franco Trading Enterprise de no etu kwa dabraka edanya ne Roxy Cinema edi animhwe no hono mo a ena Papa Franco behu ene gadgets ankasa de ne ohia bia ye de bema ena senchance papa ye de bodan so a DBS senchance na mekamfo edi amawo eno no wasi danya wie na de boso no uhia afebo kala wo pen utusu a yesi ye mount 20 years fading warranty emfie duonu edan ne so mpa ena nsuo twa this osi abonten wate boko enchansi ne nyedede awie boso a emma hit nyina wo dem hono emfa so e wo DBS enchansi mu no sprinter so de dan ye ne papa ye restaurant de animhwe no hono mo a ena DBS wo won kran a oho ena wo setakrade hono mo kumase DBS wonu mu e wo ho a ye gina yaboa wo seya abusu anwuma yi ena ta machiri ena mi producer subo mi chidom loyalist wo kwadwofo jotachire Aisha Akua Ibrahim kwamkulenu ebomi chidom sada so enejamretwum akowua misumidin ede Akua buachiwe yadom ofremi ABY mejo so ene mene emrahye badwani ma omanfo yo one of ton ewo fie ha ono abo akwaba
yo mejo so ABY bibi aboko yesha yache
ayo na ne documents so nko ana ene oniema so no dos me gidi se bibia boko
oh nyamiadom
constituency
nyamiadom andra ena me file me nominations into my main edika my main chair tifo nyana na menda me constituents for ase andra sana insio to ya na so mo defy insio no eba bonten dodona ebe tamechi ana yako EC officer wabato ko file your nominations na the omo can say on say ushe electoral commission omo results almost published in 2020. Northton, the whole country, the widest victory margin, 89.7%.
The whole Ghana, yeah. Nanka Francisca, Bedi only Francisca Nepo.
Yeah, into 2024, Ejumadea, yeah, per se, to me. Extended record no into your set new target 94%, your friend operation 94%, into your young Winjiba, no complacency, a lot of hard work, house to house, door to door. I mean at the end of the day no once we Jumadenia who's serving Crawford as they expect. You must also ensure say a be reflected in the outcome, in the results. The SSA as community leaders. And say the aka almost the ombeye on the 7th of December to show appreciation. I believe say as leaders, when Crawford encourage you, sana, you also will work more. In my next term, I will do better and hope to get even better results. That's the philosophy.
Yɛte ha ne yɛhwɛ ne yɛbɛsi akyie biara no yɛde report no ɛbɛba ba ne yɛwɔ mu oni wo sɛ this time constituencies ni bi wɔ hɔ no mo a ne ɛyɛ me nwanwa ɛyɛ the way a independent aspirants bi APAPA and then ankoyɛ people from outside they say ebi am in core parliament da members of parliament say yeko as an independent candidate. I don't know near so e wo fie ho no mo ebi eyesa no ana mo members of parliament mu ne say me nwie madwuma e na party na yi me free ho enti me san akwa na say decision no e free hin.
I mean honestly o share the ekoso na as I say you come back to the parties. Send parties organize primaries no. One your colleagues are more independent kasa on make sure say they don't feel say processes no were fair, were even. Na agenda be ewo say whether you like it or not, hook or crook. Until sometimes on make sure say look, abo no cry yede ko to abano or more manipulative. O complainer omong boao. And then nipano so obe contest no baby are free no. And if you have observed baby are a lot of tension, a lot of dispute no. We will say challenges no every the bigger house and na ni backers no and Crawford or more even more weight, heavy weights chain war parliament or the process is skewed, the process is rigged. And I believe sir in every institution no? And we NDC with the times that we've also had challenges. In Tiana Ubekaya there was a time amende constitution a BA the process so obia members be betuaba because when it was only delegates the impression was that it was open to manipulation. If the delegates no swa na ukrasika bebrea obeto me I influence omo but obia member party members ni nyina no moto aba it becomes more difficult but and also it created other challenges which were not foreseen at the time say your communities ni bia ebi koto aba no na omo share way of frame traditional area. Once a urban Northton say there were 6 traditional areas. Enti there were Bato, there were Mepe, there were Fujoku, there were Togoma, there were Volu, there were Dofo. Enti se nipa no free ebia Dofo, na Dofo fo ni nyana pese omutomano. Enti ya kromini. Na se baby of free no so omu ya majority, omu doswa. Then omu free the other ethnic groups, omu ya minority no. Now they don't stand a chance. Say if it becomes an issue of say metuama mikrom ni yana ya one majority inti and also the challenges, but I believe so at the end of the day you making sure say guidelines parameters the rules of engagement a be balanced, a be fair, once you do that no nipa no lose krana obeka say oh nkrofo no na omo aka say me time aso me so ma be ye bi omo pe obi fufuro but nipa no hu say enye the natural sequence of things ono was standing election was spending resources say elections for Ghana as they say easy, and after all of that expenditure, after all of that sacrifice, so now the process was not fair. They feel cheated, and on a bit cause this whole tendency say okay, me co-independent, me try me party for say me a popular on the ground, because sometimes so enye nipa no kra ne pese obeko independent, but one say the larger constituents and nanandom and all of that say oh wona ye pow the way you who say the whole process has gone no omo anye ni ye omo amfa kwan papa so ente ye be supportive into the co-independent, and then they succumb. But ultimately no enya dia eboa your democracy, because it creates the impression say after over 30 years, no, the parties are not maturing, and we are also not deepening the whole democratic accountability, and more room for ways and means for intimidation, rigging the process, and all of that, and it does not speak well about our democracy. It's something we need to really address. And this whole issue, sir, I mean, going to Parliament, Ababeye, a money game, do or die, godfatherism, when who supporting, even for the presidential ambition and all of that. Factors that really enye core and germane to ejuma ubabeye as a member of parliament and what is expected of you under the constitution, because we share constitution now member of parliament we a lawmaker, as I say we ensure say your checks and balances, who pursue oversight and obey advocacy, and at the end of the day also who obligations to your constituents on the ground in terms of say development. Intiana yawo share the district assembly common fund, yawo the MP's share of that common fund. It's a very multi-dimensional responsibility. Ejuma
and yes sir mumu biso ase efie hwa ye modedodo, because mekai ebra mumu ba na shebedwam no who say etoda na bia ye se mpanimfo ni bi ono mo a ye protect omo ebia ba be sua de wo parliament ono mo enti ka ye protect omo na omumwa, because toda mo si o ebia be institutional memory enti ka ye mo omo ho na omaboa house o ebi so se da bi ebi nko na bi mra eti ade we san be si se edu baby a wasi protect mrahye badwafo no ase ne wo kan ote mrahye badwam o ye adwuma committee so ne wo ye ne fie onti e bi a onya kwan kra nko for campaign ni we eti was say you make exceptions before nipa ne say because of adwuma an wo ye nti you are chairman of a committee e bi outside your minister nti em protect o kakra anan no ye nya nwum media on say you various schools of thoughts. Enti yewo omo kase yem protect a group of MPs, particular omo gather experience, be omo ye ministers, omo special talent be. Ena yewo omo so omo kase enye open na obia and justify the inclusion. So we are that good. Voters are rational. Our constituents are rational. Wasumomu ye ewo constituency and a chamber ombe hu say why jumapa me a hona I belong to that school of thought. Say, yeah, because omo I mean say omo remu na omo ka protection omo refi say anka ye protecti omo na omo ho ansa na wo ba no anka huntu member. And I don't subscribe to that protectionism school of thought.
yes, OSHA statistics now, Ghana Parliament, attrition rate, we are very high. Every election, Biano, not less than 40%. OSHA statistics from 1992, not less than 40%. Lose almost seats. All the primaries come home all the way to the main national elections now. The attrition rate, high, one of the highest across the world. Now, so no, my humble suggestion, and it's a protection and a bebwa. Instead, you're encouraging members of parliament to be more responsive, to really, be aligned with their people. Don't leave your people behind. Don't, because sir, who believe it, sir, you are really doing it in the interest of the people. And no more konkasa. Be open, be transparent, and they will see they are rational. I believe, sir, delegates are very, very rational. I mean, may come a fourth term. I've never been subjected to any protection. Now, so election biano me imagine increase it. And the last time Krayako primaries Obia Ambabium, initially we were my first primaries were 7, and I reduced it to 4, and I bear 2. The last time Obiamba. The people are saying, Omukron person who contesting are thinking to myself, I won't go and waste my money. Whilst Anka party no announces say, oh, you're protecting or yeah, dear, and no more never create a lot of confusion. Omukrana, ebi omu assessment, who say omu ni chance no. Omo because oh, I don't know more protecting or why it's not fair because who started protection? The question is protection for how long? Obi boabo ne ho or when the plans ebi the next 10 years, the next 50 years. Sebi north ton enyami papa dia. At a point in time, the people will say, "Oh, so what be your dear?" Honorable Kujato Ablakwa, we thank you very much. We are moving to the next person. Enti, worker protection for how long? For how many terms? And all of that. And no crano, create all kinds of complexity. Intermediate. My humble suggestion is, encourage the members of parliament to do their best, both because once a balancing act, a dear pan work chamber. Now, so a back constituency, the people feel abandoned. Say, yatin and kawa kra or radio so. But yenhuno our constituency. So you and then there are
manage and combine both.
Exactly, you can
because you can no more see because some me can leadership because say be a mayor committee chairman near 2 na mean to me ma. But I won't from the walking a Bible quotation or see unyuma bedi wechi.
Exactly. Exactly. And also these delegates no. Also une omukasa who projected constituency who kasawa chamber who two coin omuhu who ye juma say ye minister, it projects them omope, they love it. Enti say 60-70% crown odima or minor omope kakra say 20-30% be. Don't forget about us and they will appreciate it because omunim say a balancing act. Enti omu de say Ghana for te omo constituency nka omo te omo MP say or ye juma omo huno or I mean or ye juma den projected constituency no. They are excited about that, but what they will detest, they say, oh yeah, all of those national assignments, oh yeah, we are busy in the chamber no. Now they feel say, oh, you are taking them for a ride, taking them for granted. You've totally abandoned them. And no, that's when they begin to rebel. Ente yam balance it, and then let's also do more public education. Once still no the role of members of parliament. Say many constituencies say omojoin say yamaye sika say yambesi akwan na yambesi hospital kase and all of that. You need to be open and transparent. Until we have more town hall meetings like I do. Now say I say look, may common fund every quarter is just about 30,000 cedis.
Oh yes, meetings.
Yes, may scholarships, and this is the list from every traditional area or more benefit. Until may scholarships are. Even my 5 year scholarship grana and to me a coin mean to me in France see a Ridge Hospital and Kolebu Muhungu Accra, the kinds of hundreds of millions of dollars required, you emphasize Sikano Emma MPs, and the people will understand. I think public education should play a role, and then more engagement. Let's get closer to the people, let them understand. They just want to feel respected. That's all. I mean, it's not difficult. Just feel respected. Say only kasa only ewo. You having abandoned them. Wako krana will committee work, international travel, international assignments, maybe serve on ECOWAS Parliament or Pan-African Parliament. They also take pride in that. Say, projected on constituency could drew all the way Pan-African Parliament. But in real form, and don't say because of that and also to make encoffee. Once you do the balance, delegates are rational. Media, I really think, encourage more public education, more transparency. Now, enjoy this protection. Look, your members of parliament, maybe, constituency no crowd more fire. For example, we show the current leaders of the house, Honorable Atufosin and Honorable Afenyo Makin. Omu winning Omu seat for the first time. It was national news, breaking news, surprise to everybody. If say traditionally Upko Winiba, maybe Afenyo Makin war, NDC had before him had won it more times than the MPP. And Ansana Atufosin winning in it was largely an MPP. But because of Ejuma Omuye, it has virtually become strongholds, and the other parties have given up. It should tell you, it's not about protection. Exactly, candidate. Sana ubeye with Juma. At the end of the day, you will say, who build a long-lasting parliamentary career. The people will come along and they will support you.
Martin. Wedi say you can say o fourth term near. Na say how many years no?
Yeah, maybe come me fourth term. Into me third term, 12 years. Into me fourth term at the end of by 2029. I'm spending 16 years in parliament.
Na say okay kan ko Mugabe. Okay kan ko Mugabe modi ani ebi.
Well, nkakra.
Tina say one we are that only Freddie Blade near the amount. But ye can what several committees ahuru bi so emrahye bedwam. And committee ben I chairman
assurances committee.
Government assurance.
Yes.
Okay.
Once amending standing orders. It is say assurances committee, no longer government assurance, and expanding mandate. It's not only for ministers. Yet to me, all government officials. Once one make a pledge in Parliament, the committee is allowed to probe it, to look into it, and to ascertain sa bona obeshare yes obeye 1 2 3 4
where do you share so
I mean with this one
yes our committee no na tro nsa frɛ minister Western Housing man eba committee nani
exactly
na so we share a posture that day say the chairman of the committee say you can say we are chairman of a committee wo the any say unko and I exercise authority or committee no so and I say members was sunina and I mu take decisions and I yet
enti osha your standing orders the chairman of a committee wanna as I say will maintain a discipline wanna as I say will exhibit leadership enti to a background who casting vote enti when the matter is a tie Una obeto the last vote and baby obeto no that is their decision. In terms of maintaining order so no say ebia matters totally get out of control na say offer marshal and offer security and say we sanction obia and walk out obia out of the committee chairman ejuma. Of course as you are first amongst equals into and so we are autocratic. As I say, you must have a style. You can take on board the views of members. Into that really unfortunate sitting, with the Works and Housing Minister who follow proceedings now. My members, Eka said, the way I never can take a break. I listened to them, and I said, okay, let's take a break, because look, the whole incident was just totally unacceptable. Oshe, all the other ministers or more appear before us, because once the assurances committee, answer na the current reconfiguration, a change in membership as amending a standing order says, the chairmanship will go to a member who does not belong to the ruling party. Previously, now the chairmanship of the assurances committee was reserved for members who are in government, whose party have formed the government. Because of that, though, now committee is vibrant, and many people were not following. But after this amendment, once the committee has become very, very vibrant, and also all the other ministers, health minister, lands and natural resources, roads and highways minister, will appear before us. The NHI executive director, Professor Tifa Munyana Abba, and we didn't have any incident.
Ya approve budget amount ya che dwuma amomfa nkoye ye pese ehu se maw ye dwuma no anase manye eno na momani di achi because me da bia metena bani ni dwuma die so a asema meka se sa committee no me hu omo dwuma omo ye. If we have a committee I was say momon for mani ni achi enye se ya approve budget ne keke fakoye we mode ye. It is enke no ni adwuma amo ye de a na ese ne kwanso nti mpanimfo a wo bobo omudi nyina no omo ba ye omatima bebu nkonta
enti dia waka no very fundamental eka ye dwuma ho but enye eka ho
okay.
But enye bebre ka ho enti yes yamao ya approve budget yamao sika following up in terms of implementation eka ho but the other matters no so for example question time into when I'm say parliament biano question times are very, very, very important. Into members of parliament are filing questions, speaker admitted into a bisa minister say a coin where I want me constituency a coin na say na ebi a bridge I say bubu into dabena ubeba be fixe na minister no ama specific assurance mama me 6 months and in the next 3 months me ma be here enti wono wa file wo question we bisa there is no other avenue we to me attract it insisting on the minister performing that assurance and I say explaining Adentina assurance no my want to me end this. It is left to the committee of assurances to follow up. And the other aspect to your statements into ministers and kasa omoba number your statement. For example, omobe kind budget and now omobe some new policy omobe announce it now omoma roadmap say this is what we are going to do and all of that. Into all of this, including say ABI yaye committee commissioner but ana NHI ana get fund administrator all of these constitutional bodies no omuntu to me answer questions directly during plenary now so no they appear before committees or more appear before committees no more all kinds of assurances can ye juma ho enti the mandate of the committee broad it covers all of this enti at the end of the day no as I say assurances committee follow up and making sure say those assurances so that it will not be just a matter of Maccabi and I walk away. I've even forgotten about what I said. And then also to ensure that there is democratic accountability. Say, and yes, say democracy now you're practicing will be able to make and there is no way of following up. There is no way of making sure say asemna wababe kano. You meant what you said, and you said what you meant, and that the hopes and aspirations of the people are not being taken for granted. That is our mandate. And say those interrogations new real. Now your report. Now your report. Now you're submitting your report to the plenary, and within our report, you better to make a status say You follow up on the assurances, no. Minister way, asimesi way. Or ye the best effort, but ABA na a Ministry for Finance and now more releases sika amano. And assembly ye genuine ABA omo koye jumano omo say omo analysis omo ye be a technical advice omo nyaye and say nipa na or consulting man minister or catcher minister say oh a coin way there within 6 months a bet to me aye ABA na sir advice was not well founded. Ebia nipa no one consider the topography, the nature of the land, and all of that. Into Ebia there is some justification, but say no minister no ama new date. Or can say mano one last chance for meeting that objective. We can state that, but where there are also instances, clear say, oh minister no. He just came to deceive Parliament. Na Yamanu Bibia, Yamanu Sikano, all the factors are just excellent for him to deliver, but he was not just committed. You bet to me, I recommend sanctions, and some of the sanctions can go all the way as far as even vote of censure. Says some minister no yen no free her because ebi ababe ye a pattern. On take Parliament serious or no the oba Parliament say or be chantro na wakan bibia keke or could do the officer ni refi or he doesn't even make any effort. And that is our mandate.
Na samu to me pa enti edi na bema when you walking say minister bi ba na bi an ye walk and transum ni we yanka you use your pen na ebi amatro after sitting no say nie ye hu ye ni anko ye ni ba nie ye hu ye with minister idea videos better to abonti ya say mo banta there be oboa and there be munye serious anyway. What was that necessary?
Yes, it was because OSHA minister ne approach minister no on person be responded to my questions. It clearly came there with an agenda because Nami Bisano specifically say Asem Kese we see 15th September. In a few days will be the first anniversary, exactly 1 year. Minister, Meneo Casas say, Ghana for your fellow compatriots, 1,360. Omo guswa, omo da tent mo. Tent. Yama many omunkola, single mothers, nursing mothers. In tent, in Siotoa, they are so exposed. Ente, ebanesena, MP, private individuals, corporate Ghana, you to me AC a dine 7 weeks. Nipa 600 akoshim. Now so a whole government. You approve a budget amamu 280 million. The last time you bisa urgent questions, who buy who kase your mouth time in a few weeks. Mubesi a dino ama yankrofo. Adentina. And the minister will not admit, say, and that they have not been fair to the people. And then I pressed on, say, okay, you want to continue to dodge the questions. What are the new assurances, my new timelines? Because clearly, earlier timelines now, Uba Parliament, went to me. So you couldn't meet those timelines, or say on the Yaman 14 days and son or beko or akoshe the reasons for the delay and son or to me I said, look, this is an emergency, this is a humanitarian crisis, and is that the best you can do? 14 days. And okay, so look, you are creating the impression as if some people don't care na anyawuna. During the disaster, soldiers have been asked to leave. When actually, the soldiers were only being asked to move to another location. And because away from this, we are not discussing soldiers. In any case, your facts are wrong. Nami woho meaning century for only TV3 for no kasa na shokomo, even there was Daily Graphic, De La Rosa, they were all on the ground. And a commander no obe. Chairman, some so honorable, thank you. You've been very supportive. This will be the last time I'm seeing you. More friend, order from above. Say, I say, oh, order from above. Saying, in so no recede, in so no koye. I am a boat and I use it. and you are helping the people to move from one community to the other above the waters. Inti more concern so honorable way the media meant to is order from above. Inti once the TV3 people were there, no muhu the AC no, and no more breaking news. Inti now soldiers no ako. They capture even how they were offloading the boat into the trucks and all of that. Omukom hotel, best care hotel, echo parke omoniema. And breaking news no buy, and there was this whole national uproar, social media. Everybody was saying, "Oh, Adom Nkrofo we break already," and Adom Namu withdraw soldiers, and omuye U-turn. Into yawa in some 30 minutes, and commander no Sani Chibaye say, "Hey, power of the media." We are back. Into those are the facts. Into I was shocked, sir. The Honorable Kojo Ponkruma twisted that and says, "Me moon na me chantro na I didn't have any facts. The soldiers were only relocating to where." But in any case, no, this whole sitting no was not a sitting to look at the conduct of soldiers and the Ghana Armed Forces during the disaster. Una oye Minister for Works and Housing, discussing resettlement. A Dina is a Musi Emma, our fellow compatriots, fellow Ghanaians, who no fault of theirs. Omanye Bibia Akosombo Dam was opened by the VRA, and then a say Omufi Omubibia. And we owe them a duty of care. We must be responsible. We must show urgency. We must show empathy. And to be honest with you, I was totally disgusted, sir. Minister no eba with that approach, sir. No humanity, no empathy, on taking responsibility, and on no more now introducing other things, soldiers, Wako, Chantro was soldiers, and all of that. And he was undermining my authority as chairman. And if I did not put my foot down, he will just have totally, run over the committee, run amok, and disrupted the proceedings. And it will become a matter of soldiers who say, and needless political banter. Meanwhile, no. As same way I hear discussing the real victims. Kasa 1 year on, they are intense, living intense. That is the issue.
Honorable, and only a next year, basu, because one say, Moye Mobanta ni re na ye nya resource be and free more, and no ebe adwen. If say, who can say, uhune say, no, ye ready say, or be answer. Me tie Mobanta na, edu baby manika say, and yet the first time I hear kohoni, yedi kanya koho, ba pay yen shishe yemuno, your next visitor ye de koho no be within 14 days. Eti sani ya woka sa say na omumu ase omun show say ade nu asi no hayen. Enye wu mom na ase na wonye satisfied with the answer we de baye.
Debi ono ankasa eka otie ne statements carefully. Ono ankasa eka say initial timelines now modema parliament a omo ankasa de ye adwuma no omo amese enti afi na obekoho to go and engage the contractors to find out adentina omo a delay a adwuma no enkoso. And we were surprised yama invitation we yama ministers no, because ministers are very busy people enti at least 3 weeks. Even if it's emergency, so an urgent matter, we don't go beyond 2 weeks notice. Because, and yes, I'll bet to me, I can just say, oh, notice no year short, meant to me. And a whole 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, wouldn't say, oh, appear before assurances committee, went to me, and homework, any with directors on the ground, and Kasa, you have Jumana Moye, you are doing it with the regional minister, the RCC. There's a whole interministerial committee. So, what I want to mean, because you are busier. There's a whole team. Over to me, Sumau directors, if you are the ministry, and now more region, and now regional ministry. You know, the head of the RCC. In terms of government structure, no, there are so many people. Interna yetio muka, all of these specs to carry out the people's mandate and to make sure that ministers are informed, the people's expectations are met. But all of this were not done. And you come and you don't want us to deal with the real issues. And there was no way we're going to allow that. Because at the end of the day, Ghana for omo expecting results. Yen yanoma omo what tents nemo. They want to be assured, say, and the way they have been neglected. Look, it's a national disgrace, a whole year, a disaster of this magnitude. Now, I mean, if non-governmental actors able to me see a dance within 7 weeks, the likes of First Sky, the likes of the AAC, the MPs and partners and all of that, what is stopping the government, to at least, even say, I mean, Sobe Kaya earlier, I even suggested in Parliament, say, Saglemi woho. Fortunately, Saglemi any baby a disaster no see, And what, sir? Instead of keeping people in tents, keeping people in congested classrooms, even we could have had a temporary arrangement. That was Saglemi ho. It was turned down. Say, enya dia, abambe to me. You see, the way our fellow Ghanaians have been treated, it is just appalling. It is just abominable. And there was no way we as a committee were going to allow, say, red herring will be introduced, matters that are not relevant, soldiers now a discussion, a debate of movement of soldiers. And I mean, it is our work. OSHA plenary cry when even the speaker himself cries in charge. There are times the speaker is forced, compelled to assert his authority. And Chebiana, my good friend, you also MP speaker, can say, look, he has to walk out because of the statements he's making, and order the marshal to move him out. And the tempest flaring and all of that, it does happen sometimes. But at the end of the day, the question to me is that, was it born out of good faith? Is it really about making sure, sir, the real issues are addressed, that we are fighting for the people? May I want to at all times be seen fighting for the ordinary Ghanaian, the vulnerable Ghanaian. And so far as I'm concerned, that's exactly what I did.
Busiansa fen we bi wafidia burning issues medie so eni ene ye wo Northton abatro empesa somra shebedwani odo manfo ye wo hono mo ano ene wa me ate ase se electoral commission anya age ne nkrata tumu awie no na se yetumi kase NDC amanyoko na nam senior woko ewo Northton abatro empesa so ena ye ne no asi adwa no enam na shebedwam de ewom ne constituency de ewom NDC amanyoko no manifesto yi abwatwero ene babi a mede no ebehwe pa ono ne de no adesua wom eti ye behwe hono mo so ba honorable ye kan omanfo adwenche yi ode ba begibre na no so nsembisa bi ye wom ye de aba yenhwe sika no a ye twa no wo budget no mu no 220 million Ghana cedis and ye say yemfa moa ewo enye constituency we beka se baby a the affected areas near mimiti 6 March wa Abraham Mpani kasa no wo say ya release 80 million ya eno no ya de so asene efi ho no minim mo se kura de ne akoba ne assurances committee a wo san da no mu kasa mo ye follow up say hin ye duru a eti na no mu ni minister no nkomo twetwen mu no 220 million no sign ya release so far ede ne ede aye ene woti he kan say e bi da so da tent no mu sika ne sign ya release
question we mena me bisa the Honorable Works and Housing Minister or Assurances Committee earlier no nama bisa no so on the floor of Parliament that was about 4 months prior. Na Minister Noka said 80 million na President ka say ya release for various relief items. I know there on to me and kan ho asem because I say onye member of the interministerial committee works and housing and kan ho just omo invite no say on be briefing committee no on the housing aspect na ono there 200 million and ya catch on say ya the bema for the housing aspect of the intervention.
200 million.
200
million if 220 no.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But 80 million now president can want some at the 6 March no, and not according to him only the details, and that matter has remained the total mystery because 4 months prior no yebisa minister where and at the time no so want to make the breakdown, and we have been asking say where did the money go? Yebisa energy minister at the time or your running mates to say on also want to me any satisfactory answer because the Okaya say the initial support no but at that time no na a free VR for her into VR for one kasa omo budget into this 80 million no it has remained a ministry a total mystery. Ubisa any member of parliament say sasikano why na omo release sasikano emano and then na omo de sasikano aye and yenso a yewo on the ground affected communities. Ubisa say have we seen the results of that 80 million? Now we cannot provide any answers to that effect. Yeah, when it's 80 million it remains a total mystery. I'm hoping sir
interministerial committee no more the affected areas no obia anya part of the committee
there be and the other strange developments when they say or more invited yanda. I have been asking in parliament the affected MPs at least more free na yembe tenase even this whole business of even data validation bringing experiences on the ground yakasa no invitation enti yenhia omoda my name say bia omo be visited constituency no da as a committee because I'm not aware enough to say me any visit by the interministerial committee. To be honest, my name is a committee even still functioning? Is it still alive? Is it still active? I cannot tell you. And Uti and Ananum so last time Mepe festival the Mepe chiefs protest here say up to now Obia embassy or more from the interministerial committee. And to be honest with you, that whole interministerial committee, whether they are really working, the fruits of their setup, the results of their setup, it remains to be seen. We don't know what the plans are. Time because you see, young Kai said, the same way see, it's an emergency. It's an emergency. It's a humanitarian crisis. It's a new idea, business as usual. You to your bow, you better me a postpone, you better me Edinema Ashada and all of that. But unfortunately, the attitude has not been the best in terms of responding to a disaster rising to an occasion with all the agency, with all the if you like the utmost conviction, determination to make sure we are alleviating the people's plight within the immediate possible time. You don't see all of that, unfortunately. Who assesses the work of the interministerial committee? You don't see that.
And you say victims nipa saying na omuni baby da omuso omunya baby ada no yenim kwan omo fa sunya baby tina ye ebia government are providing emwa bia ye unti ho asem possible say bibi sa betumi asi
enti eba resettlement a dan a yesi on the ground, Nipa 600 and I had to me relocated Uba North Tonwa. And those two house first one, first Sky Company Limited this year. Second one, donations na air bano mena me boa me setting up accountability others council or mo BA accounts. I am not a signatory. Nti Professor Fedo no na ye chairman and nananom it is ikane nyina e buy no including my contribution and I did see the second housing project ever mapper. Nti the only 2 housing projects are yet to me I resettle 600 families, you know. Those are the projects. In terms of the Abain Bayer, no, Abain Ebe started the one that the Works and Housing and District Assembly Common Fund or collaboration. But Enona Ejumano Astole Omunriye, and it's been several months now. In terms of Omo Edaswa Ewo Tent Nemono. According to the NADMO certified data, recently when we appeared before the ad hoc committee, Omu investigated the whole disaster to make recommendations to Parliament. DCE, the NADMO director, yenyana figure ye submit yenyana ye validation, ya confirm 1,360. Enti oba mefe degome, that's your camp 1 and a camp 2, oba agbetipo. Until when you combine all of these camps, all of these makeshift structures, no, we are talking about 1,360. In terms of omo da okohosisia na juwe omo beda tent mo 1,360. And other numbers. I want to say we shared NADMO statistics now over 12,000 people were affected. North Tonkwa. The others are more patchy. And recently, who follow news, the Miya is omo 65 years and above. No, me yomunya na every ho. Me support you more with 1 year rent. Me 2 year rent. Almost say at least. I'm hoping say within the next 1 year, no. A buying resettlement project will be completed. Now, you to me, a movie or more into senior citizens, not there. You movie or more out of the tents. And yes, it will have been more than the 1,360. Into those are the facts. In terms of other,
senior citizens now, I know say number.
Yes, that's about 150 a year or more, every tent anymore. And in terms of government contributions, no, make us relief items. During at the height of the disaster, no, a number of governmental agencies the relief items by and no may acknowledges relief items by VRF4 relief items Diane and Insio providing polytanks or more provided 2 buses to transport the children more camps to their schools into more tents at least VRA provided 2 buses to transport the people, the students to and fro school. But that is it. In terms of housing, resettling the people, and in terms of compensation, because Yankai say the SSA these displaced victims, 2 major items. Bako resettlement, say basi a diamond because omudan ebubu, and the second item, as I say, so a compensation. Omo losing omo shops, omo farms, omo livestock, omo TV, radio, jewelry, bibia, insiona for bibia no. They are entitled to compensation. Entiana indicated as several recently when we appeared before the ad hoc committee, me survey notice many nanoma kasa, many victims nakasa, many lawyers akasa say if within a year yanti bibia about compensation, because so far we share all the budgets, even including the recent media review, there's been no allocation for compensation. Abai enka compensation wasam resettlement and enokra na ye brese into the bena ye be drew compensation into I have served notice say aban ekosusa and can be about about compensation na ye some good faith to compensate the people. I'll have no choice but to lead the people to court to demand legal compensation which is really the right of the people, because under the constitution, no, when people's rights are violated, they are eligible for remedies. And at this point, no, clear, sir, there is absolutely no justification to abandon the people. Into a compensation, it's something that is looking very, very clear. Say, yeah, agitated. Say, yeah, increase your advocacy. Na ye bibi concretely yan kokota, because a buying per se compensation no cry. You don't even hear anything about it, and it's not the case. Yen bisa yana yen file statements and yen make you file questions and yen make statements on the floor. We've done all of these things, but I buy any forthcoming. Entiana yabeko courts on this matter.
Wabra oko filing o nomination no o make promise be say rent no obe o next term no obe increase the akosen.
Yeah, into promise na me and say this week my year available 100,000 cedis for rent emergency support. Omo amuguso what tent anymore, particularly yama menoma mommy nursing mothers a person you prioritize into
so you are done with the elderly people.
Yeah, you are done with the elderly. Into say yeah, but yama memo into a setting up committee say omobe show evidence or monya baby on better me rente omoko year assessment na say no credit and is available for them to rent. Then at least we will support them. But young could beyond 1 year, so that you better me. I want him say a crazy rent and yet to say Accra into
Ode China say a grant say
a grant. Also, they are not working into anya de better me at a free. Just to, because since you taught us it's very, very emotionally draining. Recently, ad hoc committee omo investigated this matter. They were all shocked. Say you could drew the Gome Camp 1 ho. The only water source Ghana water for Abe disconnected, and that was the third time on 1 year on 2 occasions. And I raised this. These people, you don't expect them. Enti me honorable DC so menena discuss it. Enti bring the bills to any of us. Enti that was the third time I had to pay. Enti the chairman of the committee, the MPP MP for Tepa, Fred, the Ghana Water MD, I said, look, what we are seeing here is not good. Honorable Breja was there, Honorable Reverend Intoso, Baby, and they all said, look, you can't be doing this. This is a humanitarian crisis. So more disconnected. How do you expect them to survive?
Scanner ode ma for rent no. A common fund na say a wow personal money.
Into a 50-50, 50% every common fund and the rest Miami resources media source.
Okay. Inchi muno enti wo beto aso a kwesi se aban be wie ne de no nti aban wie ne de na na se wa yun se friase
na to me really say data no wo ho enti ya be catch aban enti aban kra mo be ye onabo kojo pon kroma ba ye or the data no ba enti omoso ewo edin no mo ya validation enti omunim omo amu entitled to this resettlement enti I'm hoping say obi nkaze would ya rent your mind to their own count ebia or more tent in the moon quan debi your data no once would die a bubu you have been certified, validated, say you are entitled to be resettled. No, it shouldn't matter wherever you are at the time of say you buying a dino. It is now time to be resettled. And I'm hoping, sir, by that time, no, hoping against hope, sir, by that time, no, na buying area. But the way I near my corner, I'm confident, sir. Yena, as I say, yaba power na yaba save the situation because between now and December, dear, with this posture, dear, I am not too sure.
It's in a chess, sending near Messi and DC, my baby.
Oh yeah, we are confident, but we are not complacent. We are confident, but we are not complacent.
And no, I'm a day betty, see, my manifesto, no, I'm more day power, because send ye all can say, more kukuduro. Yeah, chese mode ba.
Yeah.
Akukuduro no e was saying nyina so. If so ka say me wa akukuduro keke na hwe nyina so bi ani mu no so ha adwen na Kofi upon Isaac adwen kire yode aba wo se akua. Me tie mu anwumre efiri Kwaku Bonsam junction eno e wo hefa sa pema ye wo Kwaku Bonsam wo say NDC never again akua ma menchia Radio Callers Association na na Emmanuel Wusu o say akua ma menchia wo ne honorable anwumre Robert Gelly de ayode aba o say mechiachia mo anwumre ejo so eje ni modi e wo say akua Mr. Wada bisa honorable kujeto abla kwa mama say wo ye Kristoni eno na peso hu you maybe sa no wate Francis Bano e de ayode aba wo se akua mechia mo anwumre papa na wunim mesre Ghana de hie nyina se ensem bia ye beka ne ye beye bia no yenya manyosem emfiri mu especially galamsey sem no yenya manyosem firi mu na yenkopa ena wo fa kedi ayode aba new plan station wo se akua Mr. Obisa honorable okujeto abla kwa mama se o Kristoni o Kristoni fo no madoso se ogiso ane a ene ka che ne se National Cathedral ne ho nyame enhu ne mobo Solomon tete de ayode aba Solomon o message no san fabre bio na menti ase carry otu o se akua NDC bat se kakai Bibia ni hono mu ebetumi asi NDC kwan ama December 7th NDC entumi emma power wunim Ghana fo abre na nadoda nkwa akufo ado ne Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia ahokyere ye odi nipa akom eti sane atie bia NDC beba agundi abe Sharif Aguns de ye ode aba osi akua metie mu anwumre papa ena kushito set osi NDC de never again enya de se NDC ebeba Facebook Elijah Boache de ayode aba osi akua mehwe mu fi Saudi Arabia Riyadh na mehwe mu efi na mamenchia Ghana fo nyina na memfa ntwom anim se enye NDC MPP asemo eye movement for change abafantofo na mo reanimate wo hu mo ne mo reanimate se mo ani abre o se eye afafanto movement for change ye ne e ba ala nkwadwo chematen ena obedi oman no eso honorable yemra NDC amanyoko manifesto no eso baby a minu ye de hyasie free ye fa National Cathedral no ho na me de be hyasie free in your manifesto National Cathedral no mo se mo ba mo de be yeden
yo edikan mamen assurity for nyana se me goswa me somnyame me ye Kristoni na men ka wabibia say I do not believe that Jesus Christ is our Lord and personal Savior. Men ka wabibia da
ojidi say nyame
me jidi pa say Jesus Christ that as Christians we believe say you can't make it to heaven without going through Jesus the Christ. Obia onime pa enim say right from my very young age. Yeah, Nami SU Vice President. Vice President of the Scripture, you know. One pre-second sekasa. And we were very active. I was the chair of the Evangelical Union. Yanana ye preaching, evangelism across the length and breadth of the capital. And we continue to be people of faith. And because we are Christians, no, your name say eba edanya yesi amanyame. Sa project no as I say bibia nokre any due process. It has to reign supreme. Into intro, dream, katashishe, and all of that. Yemfam ba nyame a temple. A sorry danya yesi amanyame. Minyesio se osofu akukudam a omunyina resigning because nyama na ekoso. Okain Bishop Dakeward Mills in a resignation letter. Okay, say ono $58 million where the year who amonakes here. We see huge, large, magnificent buildings for fireless. On a resignation letter. And yemina metroye. Bishop Dakeward Mills. Reverend Sud Anaba and Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams. We say they are no longer Christians. We revere them. We attend their churches. We come resignation letter. Omo say niama na ekoso wo hono. Omo bisa for audit for more than a year. Impenyifo na omo was secretariat omo ye audit no, and they cannot continue to associate with such a project. Pastor Otabil so I resign. Into this propaganda and Krofu person omo say oh Mina and Mekai me started this crusade calling for accountability. Your friend is Sambalat and Tobias and all kinds of names. It will be crazy, me Antichrist and all of that. I mean, we are asking for yenina yenim. Say beka no krea. Eye President Akufo-Addo na catch and say cathedral project we there. Onfa abansika enye. Eye personal pledge. Waye amanyame na omo the private donations. A day. That's what the president said. Anchor president, right from the outset of our parliament, Ebeka said, oh, you see National Cathedral as a national project, national monument. Project, no, because he say, yeah, they share budget anymore. Now, you debate because he say under the Ghanaian constitution, Article 178, say, uni parliamentary approval. To me, Yisika from the consolidated fund. Untumi emfa unsa enka Ghana sika. Nobody spends without internet every year biano. Minister for Finance. Into every department, agency, every ministry. Just a parliament approve it budget. And sana in the next fiscal year no to me spending. Into all of these things were not done. Metro ITR request to PPA for almost say project no, they have no knowledge. There was no procurement approval. It is all documented. Into Osha Nema Akoso, the underhand dealings, the constitutional violations, the breaches of Public Financial Management Act, grave violations. The lack of, semeleste enkrofo mwamba betam yesika in the name of Cathedral Project we Indiana Binu Kasasi say when him say Binu Kasasi say Obia your friend carry summers American near your friend carry summers Oba betam ye $6 million well min can ye ya de mano ye de channel or say or ko resist kamaye want to me and resist bibia dan so on refund ye sikamaye $6 million make America ho ko huno $6 million. Imagine what $6 million. Yeah, the back Ghana sikasi here. That is what over 70 million. What it can do, 70 million. What it can do. Menu Kasasi say David Ajay, the architect. Sika yetiano. OBA just the bid process or J32 million. After YN design. Obi suggested say designer why no restaurant enka ho ente fa restaurant enka designer ho just for restaurant or charge Ghana $5.8 million. Me will let us know what me de mo $5.8 million just for say or amending the design yatiane career 32 million yes restaurant and county for restaurant can your variation kakra nefa into ye see restaurant nankasa how much will we pay? And these are the issues, accountability issues. Yeah, Kasasi say over 339 million Ghana cedis. Into Usha NDC manifesto, to answer your question directly, the actual word say yeba first thing yeba probe yeba injushemo. In Kofu when na ma list, including Kusibuati, Kwabne Dujen Fisa 2.6 million, Karisame $6 million, David Ajay, and all of those inflationary payments, you know. Or more as a year refunds, Operation Recover or Loot. It has to affect them so that we can retrieve these resources for national development. Urea, or more as I say, sanctions, prosecutions, Attorney General will take care of that. Then, about the future of that location, sa amunana ya tuo hono. Then ya churo manifesto ni muse ye beye national discussion, national consensus building. Ye pese Ghana fonye na omonfa omwajem embra na yen discuss during the manifesto process, you receive all kinds of proposals. TUC4, for example, almost say yen fancy children's hospital because Osha Ghana is here. You need a modern, specialized pediatric hospital, a hospital that would take care of young Kola. And that's a proposal from TUC. It be so I can say YNC, another medical school, and there are all kinds of proposals. And the actual manifesto name say and it's a young BA discussion na young achieve consensus building, including even a software more obia organized labor, youth association, the media, obia enfana jimbra on the future of that, because when you talk to a lot of the members of the clergy, omo kase eba asoria yenja omo ankasa ewo omo master plan omo blueprint, they can build that. If it is a case a national cathedral, a national religious yankai say as a society, it will come to a time once we open those floodgates, Muslims no so beka say almost per national mosque. Are we ready for that? We need to be open-minded about that. Almost traditionalists. Beka say yes, so yet your taxes. And some more with the Christians and you finish with the Muslims. Remember us. We may also ask for a national shrine. And we need to be conscious about all of these possibilities. But media, at the end of the day, say President Akufo-Addo, if he had come clean, if he had demonstrated good faith, respected the Ghanaian people, respected the clergy. I think Christ said it wasn't even fair to this eminent clergy. Osofo Akukudan, what from Ubekaya, Omubikra preachy, say, I didn't Ghana for criticize it because President Asho Muse, they are not going to use taxes. Omu first board meeting, President Ekacho Muse, we are not using public taxes, and that is personal donations into Ubia and Yedin. Archbishop Duncan Williams, if you Google, you see all of those sermons online. They have been embarrassed. The president has put them in an awkward position. Into media, where we are now, President Ankasa ne conduct, the lack of sincerity, the lack of forthrightness, the lack of truthfulness, and all of these underhand dealings, inflationary pricing, lack of procurement processes, lack of respect of the constitution, and all of that. And on a creative Ubia, nobody wants to donate to this project. Nobody wants it. Project media collapsed for more than 2 years now.
Must stating emphatically say, Moba, Modebeye Children's Hospital, and na say, Moba, Yebeye consultation answer. Send
Yebeye consultations. Into the
Tiania Mampenida that John Dramani Mamakan, Yeda Molanchi Manifesto India, or Kasi Sudia, some Modebeye Children's Hospital.
There be one casa or Kase, Ghana, ye here Children's Hospital is what is part of. It's part of the which are the health sector, your health policies. Yeah, announces say Ghana we deserve a children's hospital. TBC Children's Hospital. Yeah, Castle say we need 2 more quaternary hospitals. Say UGMC no. Yeah here Bako award the Northern Territory, and you here a 3rd one in the Volta region. Into now all listed various health projects.
And one kasa the national cathedral children's hospital. And no ye TUC4 proposal.
TUC4 proposal.
Na mo de moon kan
there be yem pese ye be committee on say ababe ye a contentious issue into ye pese say ye ba ba mo na ya there are a number of dialogues ya pledges say ye be a dialogue on the economy, dialogue on education, you know, and this is one of the dialogue ye pese ye hold it with the Ghanaian people na obia de Nigeria, and then the majority decision say Ghana for dudrona ka say ebia yen riscope project now started 100 million could do $450 million maybe a yen tesona yen see maybe a $50 million chapel fine. We'll listen to the Ghanaian people transfer your back up parliament say MPs to about say okay, we need a reduced scope because yen sure said that amount of money need here anybody, any Ghanaian, this state of our economy, a bankrupt insolvent economy will support that kind of grandiose project. And that is a possibility. Say Ghana for Dudrona Kase, YNC Children's Hospital, and I Fire Medical School, and I say YNC Factory Beer. It's up to the Ghanaian people.
Sir, yeba dialogue, yeba na yabishi muna yetien ye Ghana for Kano. And no ye ensem bi etoda amanyofo emuka na munya begitumi ni wie na fe Ghana for so mu se muka asemo ba mo ba mi ato aba e de ye MMDCs mo se oh there be ye ka say ye ba eno no ye entrench clause intino gise Ghana for kire wadwen ansa na yatumi take decision na fe ye nya clause bi dia be show ba mo campaign a mu state ka kire Ghana for say ye ba ni ebe ye ni because ye na me di be see education dey so free senior high school se mu gina simpie so ne mampani dada ogina baabi a ne o kan se o Ghana for se me ba metwam ye betwa free senior high school no so eti se ne ye beti so ye ba ye broad consultation na fe mu be si gina ye bi se o da bi ade no ye wo se ye yiyim kakra ebi betua ebi ntua na fe Ghana for be so mu na be se da bi ye consultation ye ba ye ni munyini se sabre no madada Ghana for because ne mo ka ne na Ghana for gina so ato aba ma mo ne sa enti mun state se ye be ye na Ghana for gina so ato aba na ye be consultation there na da wa na mboa
enti mami explain it one say it depends on the matter you discuss it. Yensha constitution about constitutional amendment and no political party want to make usher under your constitution, the constitution we operate now, the 1992 constitution. Your provisions need be a entrenched clause. Ente uko kase, for example, election of MMDCs and amend Article 71. Ya can't say ya be amended na ya abolish yes gratia and all of those things. No, some of those provisions no yeah entrenched. We hear referendum. Ente no. By all means, as I say, you must put it to the Ghanaian people. Ente on matters like that, no, and no dear. I mean, political party want to mean cause ya tu abama me ente I'm taking the law into my own hands may ko amend the constitution and I make koye niema constitution as stated clearly say idea we hear referendum provision where we hear ebia to test majority in parliament ente you have to be clear about the kind of policy and promise awoye that is one. Number two, eba General to say free SHS say Usha NDC ye pledge a very clear ya choro manifesto ni mu say ye ba yen twaso the ebe ne say private secondary school operators no proprietors omo be hu yen omo aye strong case say omo schools collapse omo so pese omo benefit as it is now no omo benefit. They have made a convincing argument, say, almost students, their parents, all pay taxes. Then they say, taxes, Ghana for ye sika, and I hear free SHS. Other na a be a benefit and others are being left out. Indiana in the NDC manifesto, yaka say yabe improve now ya expand so that more private secondary schools also be benefit. Now, baby ayaka say as I say yes stakeholder consultation. About the implementation. No, one say many Ghanaians have raised issues with the implementation. One, double track here bibia students and parents alike obia empe because affected contact hours obi be school 2 months now to 4 months 5 months and all of that. A distorted calendar, no, there's no stability. Enti ye pese ye share sena ye bet to be dealing with this double track. Then about quality feeding, the kind of training that we are giving these students within the constraints in terms of congestion and all of that. Into a implementation no and a year kase ye be hold a dialogue on the implementation and having long-term plans for our education so that Yenanabe committee all this experimentation no way back 3 years be back 4 years now double track single track poor feeding arrears in the system and all of that leading to serious challenges with quality. Those are the areas yakase and no dear you're best subjected to a national dialogue. Let's be clear. And yes national dialogue no afena ye babe discusses say free SHS no and say ye be choso debe. And no dear you stated emphatically clearly in the manifesto say and no, the free SHS has come to stay. Because if you look at the 1992 Constitution, Article 25, first FQ, free compulsory universal basic education. Secondly, progressively free secondary education. And you started under Professor Nana Jopoko Ajima as Minister for Education. I was her deputy. You launched progressively free secondary education. And now it is totally free. Until you have seen work in progress. OSHA tertiary, so Article 25 1C, clear, say tertiary education should be made progressively free based on the availability of resources. In China, OSHA your manifesto, for the first time in our history, we think that we are ready now to have a situation where admission fees for first year students will be taken care of by the government. Now, those who are financially challenged in their continuing years na yama omo are benefiting under the student loan trust and the scholarship, the newly reorganized scholarship scheme. Kase Ghana say share the way I abuses scholarships. Open scholarship I just utia and I just unimobi this whole nepotism, chronism, and all of that. It is not based on merit. It's not about brilliant but needy people. Kase, it is time to have the first ever scholarship law. As our law, no, and no, and a bed directing how scholarships should be administered, who should benefit, and the law would also mandate say all of these scholarship schemes are scattered all over the place. We call GMPC, we call Cocoa Board, we call GOIL, we call Get Fund, Scholarship Secretariat. You have scholarships all over the place. Young consolidated. Now you align it with our national development goals. Say the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 15 years. These are the kind of professionals are here, and then we tailor our scholarships, and then we will also publish every year or more benefit under the scholarship scheme. We need a law. This no law and so human discretion. Will be a year do Osha the Juma 4th Estate 4 year recently. MPs were listening, so ministers and among kasa edge scholarships nibi. Scholarships for brilliant but needy. Na omoba it's just unconscionable. We are saying say still at the tertiary level, no PWDs, persons with disabilities, yani anoma omoya physically challenged, omodia fully from first year to final year, yema omo free education.
Moniamani bi wo hono mo amobobo so etoda me dwen ho sa bon kompohwe machi se amo wo mrahye badwam amahu se ene omayi ye mo adodo na free World Bank ye de yeti akwakwahye ase ye nko eso behwe na ye pie ho free senior high school yi wo fa ye sika kese eko free senior high school mu since the introduction of the free senior high school chese no private schools no kura nka ho muso mo bɛyi no abanyi ti wo ye de ahokyere wo ho ahokyere wo ho enti say who start the private schools no bɛka ho a na say sika budget na bɛkɔ suro ye benya sika no wen
yo edikan we financial analysis now free SHS enye accurate say yesika dodo na eco free SHS enye
sika kese nko ho
there be
sika sen na
o share every year the more culture the more council parliament is roughly about 2.53 billion every year. If you consider the fact that a car buying way I bought over the last 7.5 years. One movie the public debt from 122 billion to over 750 billion. And say free SHS, Yanka say let's be generous. Yes, let's say even if it is very generous analysis, even if it's 20 billion no krana. Na Osha Busia Omwaje over 600 billion. You know, it's not the case. Jessica Ninyana na Dudona Eco Free SHS. And the challenge we have is we are not prioritizing. We are prioritizing. Metume amao a tall list of Niama yadi yesika aye anka SSA yadi.
Into your money was sika.
You wasika. You wasika.
Private school so you the DM back. You wasika. You bet to me
yes, because National Cathedral 339 million na cohort. Sa monano. You bet to me educational projects. Osha Sky Train. $2 million now. Yedima some so-called South African consultants. Yebisa ministers in Ubia. Nobody is taking responsibility. Nanso Sikano, according to the Auditor General, Yatiasa Sikana, we can't get it back. Sputnik V, $2.5 million. Sasikano, to me retrieve, I bet me Bibia Maya. Pualugu, $11.9 million. Ejapa royalties, $12 million. Enti met me a tall list of expenditure. Enti our challenge really as a country, the wastage, the corruption, the diversions na ekoso. Enti say to me ye na we cut down on government expenditure. On say another area so huge government. Nitiana President Mahama or Kase Oba on appointing more than 60 ministers, maximum 60. And Wakase Obe streamline. There were so many ministries and agencies. It should be merged. It should be merged. Adentina, there was separate ministry for sanitation, separate ministry for local government, separate ministry for tourism, separate ministry for chieftaincy. There was separate ministry for transport, separate ministry for railways and all of that until we can merge. And all of these titles are Yedi Mancroft for Uko Office of Government Machinery, Jubilee Household. Some of the positions, you were Ubia Yetioneka, Youth Ambassador for Diaspora Affairs, you were Church Mobilization Officer, you were all kinds of positions that you wonder where from this, and then or more. Meanwhile, they are drawing free fuel, talker some more, we are paying them, and all of that. And if we cut down on government expenditure, you bet to me as save resources. If we eliminate corruption, we can save a lot of resources. I bet to me Abuayen to address all of these needs that we have. And Kai say, at the end of the day, it's about what priority. And say. Ose sikano inse say ebia ode comma over 200 people and over 300 people at say Jubilee House. Now so what they say Ode extended free SHS to private schools, and now say Ode BC Hospital. And it's always opportunity cost. And once we pluck it loopholes, no resources become available. Now what tailor those resources towards your national priorities.
Answer na me be sorry anwumre no me kai say issue ye ba ye hotels in sensem ye ba ye ma wo kan bibi say private members motion on more etimi to o manye japade ade a wodi wani be show because me ne na wo kan when en wo se koso na en wo se koso nyina meti achi a ne mdwen won say politicians we en wo se koso iso no e bi anipa no obetobi enti ye nyamra ade no wanya adodode eso agu oma no obi a beso eti sa statement na ye na kosi sen ini why start ye bibi ana say ya kan wie no ano no
Debbie, met to me, I confirm me, say, I had na maybe yes, announcement no. After that, I put together a team of consultants led by Professor Kweku Azar. Na as I say, yenyina yebona baso on any team or more a pa. I've just opened it. Your friend of the Public Access Protection Bill 2024 into your first draft in area, and I am very excited about the kind of support private members bill where the year can say no moving forward to me a pass it bill na say ebeye emra. The ABC say yema coin for any politically exposed person to purchase any state asset. Now state asset no enya hotels in kwa asase kan ho because what follow ejumani bi ame here on state capture. Some of the best paid people in this country cantonments asase na ya to ama 183,000 cedis per plot. Governor of Bank of Ghana, the deputies, ministers, and all of that. You know,
metina fidie so kan ye no obi sheda be fa me kwokire me brono baako ye wo brono be nan baabi wo hono mo a NDC mpanimfo adadafo nko a na te ho ene ye wo baabi so MPP adadafo nko a na te ho that means say we ba power obi a se mo sheda geji say ya ane ye pe o etu ko eya bi a utimi say NDC group te ha MPP group te ha eti wo mu no medical to bi no emra no mu na emra ne nkona chi wo hu
yeah
se nke kona chi anke ye pa
anke kona chi anke ye
ba we ye ben carry forward
yeah it's a movie because look BBI the rate at which your state assets nyina when him say since me wo hands no since 3rd February 2022 ya bisa lance minister of parliament say ya pese ya asasi ni nyina aka no ya pese ye hu the omo ton so ya pese ye hu the omo ato when omo ton man and all of that up to now almost 3 years omo to me yeah omo to me provide it and buy
now we na agent question enye ye wo
still almost see omo here time na it's a manual system na they are now they say Yabisa works in housing for also say your bungalows because when say bungalows so your tongue ubeti now more demolition in the name of Accra redevelopment in the name of infilling and all of that into ababeye el national kanka shed ye see what GIS anka man sorry 2 a.m. anka Saturday anka by Monday on beba school no na obi atam the total takeover of Omasase 2 a.m. I feel nipa no supervisor Chief Inspector Ibrahim Opoku of the VVIPU Office of the President. I feel presidency issue statement say according to Chief Superintendent no or say na ono dia wapona okofie na okuhu sidi ekoso. It's very very bizarre story. I feel almost say the IGP should investigate into the economy, all kinds of reports of state capture. Into me per se, me disclose it what we show say yeah to me anya a bipartisan sponsorship of this and me per se me ready MPs now or more supportive bill way honorable Kweku Ajiman Kwating onuna all lead the MPP MP for Boise West yeah honorable Dr. Dixon Adoma Kukisi the MP for Anyaso Utum yeah honorable Eves Hansen Norte the MP for Tama Central, and the Honorable Paula Preku Chumberima, MP for Doma East. The other NDC MPs are more supporting the Honorable Francis Xavier Kojoso, the NDC MP for Medina, the Honorable Agnes Namo Molate, NDC MP for Krowo, and the Honorable Kwame Jijoli Gakbe, NDC MP for Keta. The 8 of us, and yeah sponsor bill way we are hoping sir
time nim kanya sa dina aboboy and trend bi wom nki ye be nu mefi se
trend
mo angasa politicians no MPs abo mu din efe ko o mu etimi nya akukuduro se ofa kwakuku aten wono na nsese no ase persona non grata.
Oh.
Ansa no waba nino ya wie na dwuma. Ansa no akọ Dixon. Ono so nya so tuomfo se wonko. Enti doma de na mini.
Yeah, doma oba o we ne primaries.
Ono otimi we ne. Only akukudura you.
Oh, enti ase Ajiman Kwatin so yeah, chairman of the economic committee of parliament.
Wa nza wo kan mo.
Oh.
Abusia di besia ya di besia honorable ya dasim na so enkomo twetwe ene ya de aba no. Enti ya yi na mako NDC amanyoko no manifesto ni e fa disua ho no watibi enwumre ni e waka ne se beba se NDC beba no mbe ye nhyiamu kra no se Ghana fo nyina nkyere wadwen a question bie ni ho no mo e beba se free senior high school ni ye betwam ana se ye ntwam and o mateki decision awie so mu ntwam na emum kwanya ye fa so atoaso no bebre no watie mensan entimu bio ma me na North Tom na hyebedwani ase ono abo yeda sese nwume ye to nsa frɛ wo baye
yo mesere da se ya me sure mo na ejima pa mo
sika na ye guso hwehwɛ eti ne ye de aye no 80 million na hu hia ye wose ehu eti ne besi bia no achi ye beto aso yeda se special assistant ne di wachi no
yeah kofi
mo eni adwuma mo ni adwuma edamase abusia ma me na me producer so ase make na che say loyalist wo kwadwofo dwotache kwamkulenu Aisha Ekua Ibrahim Sada so ena jamratwum akowua onyina mponsa ebo chidom ena ne odimi tu mu live e wo Facebook and YouTube ni din e di Edward Tete